Hey everybody, and welcome back to the board meeting. Today I'm making this sort of impromptu video because this morning we found out, or yesterday morning when you watch this video, that Klaus Teuber has passed away. And if you don't know who that is, he is the designer of Settlers of Catan, a game that has brought, thousands and thousands of people into modern gaming. And he actually brought me into this hobby. When I thought of board games when I was a child, I thought of games like Monopoly and Life and Sorry, and games that I didn't really like. I didn't enjoy board gaming. And then one day, one of my friends introduced me to Settlers of Catan, and I was blown away by that game. I was more blown away by that game than any game that has come out since, because it altered what board games were to me. Board games were just a giant luck fest to me back then. And then, Catan came out and it introduced kind of America into these Euro style games, these strategic style games. And there is quite a bit of luck in Catan compared to games nowadays. But back then I'm like, okay, now where do I want to put my settlements? Where do I want to build my roads? These numbers are better because they're going to get rolled more, so I'm going to get more resources from them. And so I was just blown away by this game, and I probably have played this game more than any other game out there because I played this game weekly from the time I was like in middle school through high school. And I mean, I didn't get introduced to it immediately. Like, I think this game came out 95, 96. I was probably around 2000 when I was introduced to this game. And then many, many years later, I was introduced to games like Seven Wonders and Dominion and Small World, where I was like, oh, these games are great. And Catan wasn't as good anymore. I'm not a huge fan of Catan anymore, but I can't deny how much impact that had on me. It made me open to board gaming. And I remember when I was introduced to then Seven Wonders and stuff, I'm like, oh, there's more games like this, more games like Catan, where there's strategy involved. And there must be dozens of these games. Lo and behold, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of games that come out every single year nowadays. But Catan really brought in so many new people into this hobby. It still sells really well. It's sold so many places, not just board game stores, but just all over. It's sold millions and millions of copies throughout the world. And it might be the most popular board game out there besides, your mass market games like Monopoly and stuff like that. But might be the most popular modern game. It's people don't like it as much nowadays compared to others, but it definitely introduced so many people into this hobby. And it introduced me into this hobby for sure. Without him making this game, maybe I wouldn't have gotten into this hobby. Maybe I wouldn't have been like excited to see these new games, because I would think of Monopoly and stuff like that. So yeah, it was very sad news to hear that he passed away. And he didn't just make Catan. He made a bunch of other different games, and then he made a bunch of different versions of Catan. But he's definitely really widely known for making Settlers of Catan, which is just called Catan nowadays. But that's all I really wanted to talk about today. So that will adjourn this meeting. Hope you all have an amazing day. RIP to a legend.